So math this week, I feel like is much of a review. Lessons 61, 62, and 63 are all adding and subtracting fractions with same denominators, which is kind of what you were doing a couple lessons ago. I would say that the one that you did last week at the end was the last two at the end with converting the whole numbers and borrowing. That was way more hard than what this is. So I'm just going to show you the first lesson. It does add in looking a little bit more at number lines. And so using number lines as a model, I mean, 1/5 plus 4/5. So we're like going, oops, let me get my pen thing. So here's 1/5 and here's 4/5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1/5 plus 4/5 is 5/5, which if you can and if you notice it, we know that 5/5 is the same as 1 whole. So if you can, as much as you can, reduce those fractions to the smallest version of the numbers in that fraction that's equivalent. I'll show you what I mean one more time using this number line. So here we have 2/10. 1, 2, and we have 4/10. I'm going to get a different color. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we went 2 plus 4 is 6. We know we didn't even need, I know you didn't need to use the number line. We are beyond, you are beyond, you are smart. All right, so the correct answer is 6/10. But if you notice, first of all, both of the numbers in that fraction are even. So we know that we can reduce that fraction to smaller numbers, which would be a more, it's the same fraction, but as you get older into junior high and high school, they are going to ask you to reduce your fractions to the smallest numbers that you can, mostly because it's way easier to like picture them in your mind. Like if I were to tell you to picture, let's say 36/60ths, that would be really hard to picture in your mind. But if we reduce that fraction to the smallest numbers possible, which this one I know can be divided by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. It's way easier to picture something cut into 5 equal pieces and think of 3 of those. So if you can reduce the fraction, that would help. I'll do this last one with you too. 1/4 plus 1/4. I know you don't even need 1/4 plus 1/4. You do not need that number line, but it's there for you if you need it. 1/4 plus 1/4 is 2/4, right? And 2/4, again, we can reduce that fraction to the smallest version of the smallest numbers, because I know that 2/4, hopefully that's ringing a bell for you, because 2 is half of 4, and so that fraction is 1/2, but what you're really doing is dividing the top by 2 and dividing the bottom by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. So 1/2 is equivalent to 2/4, and that is the best answer. So of course, in 4th grade, we really just need to get to here, but super students, most of you want to be that, want to get to that. So all 3 of those lessons are adding and subtracting fractions with equivalent or with the same denominator. So you don't even need to change it into common denominators. I will say, I'm going to put over here on one of the lessons, it says it starts with a whole number and subtracts like 1/3, let's say. So that is something that you are going to have to go, oh, I need to change this whole number into thirds in order to subtract it. So you can either change it into 1 3/3. That actually would be just fine. Okay. So 1 3/3 minus 1/3 is 1 2/3, right? So, but there's only like 1 or 2 of those. If this is still a struggle for you, if you need help, please call me on my office hours from 2 to 3 o'clock. It's an open Zoom meeting. The Zoom number is on your week at a glance, and I will walk you through it some more. I just know that some people are ready to move on, and this is really easy. So that if this is like, if you get through this in the whole day, all these 6 pages, there's another math option for you, or you can just do it instead. That's kind of fun. And I'll put a little video of that on here too. So good luck. I know you can do it. It's so easy. I'm not going to say it's so easy. It's just going backwards from what we've been doing. So it's good review.